able to do.
That's right.
Because of what they did.
That's right.
And so I am the daughter of Pastor Emma Lozano and Reverend Slim Coleman.
Yes.
I'm the niece of Rudy Lozano.
Yes.
The granddaughter of Guadalupe and Anita Lozano. And all of those people were revolutionaries in their own right.
Yes.
So on my mom's side, right, my uncle Rudy Lozano was assassinated in 1983 in his home shortly after the re-election of Mayor Harold Washington. He was a part of building the Black and Brown coalition that got Mayor Harold elected.
That's right.
He was seen as a threat to the machine at the time because he was bringing Black and Brown people together.
That's right.
And unity, as you know, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan says, is more powerful than an atomic bomb.
Gotta say it loud.
And they knew that.
That's right.
So he was assassinated for doing that work. He also did a lot of work in unionizing undocumented workers in the factories. And so he was empowering people who were disenfranchised.
Oh, yeah.
And so after he was assassinated, my mom she was already working closely with him on that campaign. But after he was assassinated, she really picked up that work and devoted her entire life to it. And, you know, after an assassination in a family, sometimes people get really discouraged.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes can move all the way
all
to the other
way.
side.
That's
right. And so I'm just really grateful and blessed to have a mom who really just was fearless. She ended up running her own investigation because she knew the one that was happening was not going to be accurate. And then she devoted her life to the struggle for immigrant rights. And on my father's side, Reverend Slim Coleman he's just like a household name in Chicago politics. He started, working with SNCC. And then eventually the SDS, got sent to Chicago and became very close and worked with Chairman Fred Hampton Sr., right, of the Chicago chapter of the Black Panther Party. They did a lot of work together. He had a print press. Justice Graphics is what it was called. They were printing the Panther paper there. At one point, when the party was being dissolved, he was printing the paper for the entire country. And he started the Intercommunal Survival Committee in Uptown.
Yes.
Started working with Mayor Harold very closely, one of his lead advisors. Met my mom on that kind of campaign time. Eventually became her campaign manager when she ran for alderwoman. She didn't win, but they fell in love, so she won in another kind of way. And eventually had me. My story really is I was an athlete my whole life. Played basketball all the way through college, and was able to see the disparities specifically in health and wellness between affluent white communities and communities of color. Just the way the lifestyles are and what we have access to is very different, and it leads to our people being extremely unhealthy and getting diseases that are so completely preventable.
Absolutely.
And so I really kind of devoted my life to providing whatever skills I had. As I built more skills, I provided more to the community. In the beginning, I was just teaching Zumba because it was easy, and I was a personal trainer, group exercise instructor after college and stuff. And that is what kind of started Healthy Hood Chicago. And it went from just fitness classes to being more like a holistic, comprehensive approach, mind, body, spirit. And we provide just a ton of programming.
A ton,
yes.
Yeah. We're going to get into that. Thank you so much for being here, Reverend Tanya, and for being born to such revolutionaries and doing revolutionary work.
Come on.
We love you.
Thank you. I love you so much.
Man, Chairman Allen, you've been on the scene. It's like you come to Healthy Hood Sunday service. You don't know what is going to happen sometimes. I was so blessed. I think the first time I came, I'm like, I knew he was a revolutionary, but this boy nice on the mic too. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? Like, I got way more than I expected, and I'm so grateful. And the work that you do and how you are so magnetic with people. Please share how you come into being who you are.
How did I come into being who I am? I would say a big portion of it is my wife.
Hey, don't tell that.
I always describe it as armor. I feel like I was who I was before her, but when we got together, I feel like I've strengthened so many different elements. I've added so many. I've gained so much.
Who finds a wife finds a
Know what I'm saying?
Good thing.
You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on, talk about
And man, you know, you don't really understand how true that statement is until you're living it.
it.
But before I met my wife, I was doing work, I would say, on a smaller level. Still very much in the community. We were in the Maywood area at the time. And this is before, you know, I really even knew about Chairman Fred and his roots. But I had a community center out there, and though I didn't have language or vocabulary specifically for what I was doing, we were doing healing circles. We were doing these how to monetize your crafts classes, so financial literacy.
Nice.
There were so many different programs that, again, me not understanding the vocabulary for it, just me feeling like I know I need this. I know my people need this. So how do we continue to pour in? And so finally, God led us to each other. Yes. Funny enough, she was throwing like an open dance, freestyle Friday type of event. And so I brought my whole community. I was like, yo, we're all dancers. We should go check this out. And very much, I think it's that sense of like discomfort when you, we know the energy we hold. It's very radiant, you know? And so being around other energy like that was not too common back in the day. And so when we were there, it was uncomfortable for a second. I was like, man, is this real? They just like us. They've been watching us. I don't know. And it was just so natural. Yeah. From the things like, of course, we love creating, we love dance, we love music, all these things. You can see it when we share space, but it's building the container before and after those things that, for me, is like one of the most intentional actions that you can do. And how I remember we circled up, we prayed. This is right after the Adam Toledo murder. And you know, this young boy gets publicly executed by law enforcement. And I remember it just hurt me, bro. I'm sitting there with all my young people. I'm seeing a bunch of Adam Toledos in my space, you know? And so I just felt inclined to talk about it. And then going to her event, there was like, we weren't going to dance until we healed together, you know? And I just remember walking out of there and talking to my people like, yo, tell me this is not what we do, bro. Like, this is what we do. I had this saying.
You had to keep that energy with you forever.
It was a wrap. And once you know, you know. I remember I used to say this to my comrades all the time as I was building. I was a young man, 4,000 square feet. We built our entire space by ourselves. Like, it's beautiful, beautiful space. And I remember telling a lot of our young people, if I ever met anybody who was doing the work that we were doing, we would mesh with them. We would merge with them. And a lot of people in the space that we were, especially to the young mind, they're like, man, you got a business, you successful, bro. Why would you give it to any? It's about the impact. Come on. You know, the impact is so much greater, far greater than any like monetary value that we could ever pull. And so when we locked in, man, it was God, it was the universe, it was the community, it was so many different things that it was our children, you know, like we have 4 beautiful babies. Oh yes. All the same ages, which again, I think that's a part of, you know, how God be cooking up. Come on. But
before we even knew.
Exactly. Kids knew. Like, you know, I believe that the younger you are and the older you are, the closer you get to God. And it was just something about their relationship, how they communicated with each other, how they communicated with us. Like, Apollonia, I always think about my daughter through this process because she was so upfront about so many things. And I don't even think she understood what she was saying. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But she knew. Yeah. She knew that this person's going to be in my life forever.
I love it.
And, you know.
She said he showed up with his spend the night bag and never left.
Literally what she said.
That part.
And she is 11, okay?
Wow. She you know, our children know.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? Especially these indigo children now. They come here specifically for a purpose and divine reason.
Come on.
Oh, yeah, I believe that. You know, this show is all about community. I gotta know, you know, for me, I'm just listening to y'all and it's just music to my ears. You know, my father, the late great
believe impact is two or more forces coming together, and it's exchange of energy. There's no way of getting to that without community,
That's right.
So man, I think community is the beginning, it is the after, it is the during, it is the foundation, it's the power base. Everything that could be, that is, and that will be starts with community.
That's right. That's right.
Come on.
Receive it. Thank you. Reverend Latanya.
Community is love.
Yeah.
It's to have a space for people to relate to one another, to talk to each other about what's happening in their lives, to get support from each other, and realize that they're not isolated in those problems, and that we have an abundance when we come together, abundance of resources, abundance of love, abundance of ideas. It's a place to raise your children.
Yeah.
Right?
The village.
Yeah. What is my mom saying? It's raise your family and something community, but those two things go hand in hand, you know? And I think so much of what we've seen in our history is an attack on our families, because if that unit gets broken up, it prevents community from happening. And so what I believe community is bringing back the family.
That's right.
And it looks different now, as it should.
I love that. That goes into my next question. When I see community, and I have been a part of Healthy Hood, I'm so grateful. I see you all created what a healthy community looks like. Because community doesn't always look and feel healthy. You all have created a space for meditation during a unchurched church, hood church. Wait. I love the hood church. And hood has many definitions. And it's so welcoming. And it's so refreshing to be in the space that you all have created through the Most High. And see community look like that. Can you all please expound on that for those who are on their way? They just don't know yet.
I think a big part of the process, and I can speak for us, is making sure that the community has the footprint within the building process of whatever foundation we're building, whether it's the Sunday Sessions platform, whether it's any other initiative, crime drought, the list goes on. Right now, my wife has really been building the Freedom Families, which you've been there for as well.
I love it.
And through that process, this is like ground level, right? Through this process, we've done things through the series where it's like, let's create the family code together, right? And what we've noticed is when we do this collectively as a unit, we all feel like our voices are being heard. We feel represented in whatever code, whatever values, whatever structure we end up taking and creating and using moving forward with. So I think like when building, I know a lot of leaders, this might be a misconception, is like, I just got to build it to present it. But bring the people in. That's right. During the building process. Right. We talk about like having seats at the table, being heard, all of these, it's all a part of it. We have to build together.
I love it.
It's part of like the collective unit, and it creates the strongest foundation.
Man.
Instead of just one brain, we got the collective consciousness.
I think that's literally what Sunday Sessions is.
It is 100%.
Yes, I'm the official pastor there because that's what it takes to have that building. But it is, you're always you don't know what you're gonna get when you come there.
That's right.
Because you're not gonna hear from one person.
That's right.
Pastored by
because
so many.
We need different perspectives.
That's right.
Healing is not a one size fits all.
Come on.
And in this country, we've been taught that differences are dividers, but there are so much opportunities for growth, so much opportunities to learn more and to create more. And so at Sunday Sessions, we have guest messengers, right? So every 4 weeks, you're going to hear a different perspective. It may be a Muslim, it may be a Lutheran, it may be a restorative justice practitioner, it may be a rest ceremony or a sound bath, because we all have something to give. And you don't have to be a pastor to be able to help your community heal. And that's breaking this construct that we've been taught, like only the pastor or you know, can hear your confessions and forgive you. And it's like that curtain.
So what? Close it.
That doesn't make any sense, you know. And that's what Jesus was saying.
Come on.
And that's why they crucified him, because
right.
he was saying none of that stuff is real, right? We are all God's children, and we're all equal, and we all have things to give to each other.
Man.
And so if you're not there yet, and you're on your way to Sunday sessions, even if you don't know it yet, know that you're going to be welcomed in the most loving way there. You will receive so many hugs, whether you're weird about touch or not.
Right.
People going to hug you when you come there.
Lots of hugs.
And you're going to feel like that's your family, because we are. What do you say? Nobody's strangers, just family we haven't met yet.
That's right.
And that's what that space is.
I mean, every time I'm there, one of the new guests that shows up says, I've never felt this. They all say, this feels so good. I need this. My brother, you know Big Nasty, Nebraska from the
I love him so much.
Gardens. Big Nasty was like, where was this in the gardens? I needed this in the gardens. Like, Big Nasty, like, I love this, sis. Thank you. Like, he can't wait to get there. Like, you know what I mean?
I can't wait for him to get there.
His energy is so beautiful.
Man. I'm like, you know, you look at community and it's like, you know, meditation. I mean, I was there the first time, like looking, okay, where's the cash out? You can't give any money here. That's so different. You can support the vendors downstairs. You know what I'm saying? You can give a donation to the organizations here, right? But it's no offering. This ain't that.
Come on.
I've never seen that. Can you please expound on that? And the vision behind that.
We don't believe you should have to pay for healing or community. You know, how like the reason why we have vendors is because, like, if you really want to give to your community.
Come on.
Everyone here is an artist, create something, cook, sell something. Like, go downstairs and just be in community. That's what interdependence is.
That's right.
And, you know, as a church or a healing space, what does it look like us charging people or making them feel obligated to pay something for what they're receiving? We're also getting things out of it, you know, like as the so-called leaders of the space, we get love, we get community. We don't expect them to pay for that, you know. It's interesting though, because it is technically a Methodist church, and our district superintendent's always talking to me about when you're gonna get them to tithe, and I'm like, that's not how we do things here, you know. And she's just like, no, what? You have to. And I'm like, but you know, we're growing, and the rest of the churches are dying. Clearly, we're doing something right. You
That's
know?
deep. So, and I grew up Methodist. You know, my father was a Methodist minister. Christ United Methodist in Englewood. We have a lot in common, And it's interesting when you all talk. I'm thinking about Chairman Fred and the contradictions he talks about a lot. Congressman Jackson last week. You know, let me just say, you all were on the panel last week at Operation Push, and just the divine energy of the Most High. As Chairman Allen was speaking, I think you alley-ooped to him, and you were speaking about like white supremacy and capitalism, and then you caught it, and you started talking about Chairman Fred. It was Chairman Fred's senior day, he walked through the door. I can't make it up. And, you know, Chairman Fred didn't know that they were having Chairman Fred Day that day. And I had tapped in with him like, bro, where you at? He was like, man, I'm speaking in Maywood right now. I'm about to go home, catch a nap. Nah, bro. Come on over to Bush. He said, what's happening, sis? What's happening? Where I'm supposed to be? I sent him the picture of you all on stage. He was like, bro, sis, I'm on my way. Right on. So he shows up. He walks in the door as you mention his name. We can't make this thing up. We can't do that. It's so real. You know, and when I saw that, I'm thinking like, okay, Congressman Jackson had spoke about talking about healing and paying for healing. He had just talked about how you have to pay to go visit someone at Cook County Jail. You got to pay when you go visit your loved one in the hospital. You already grieving. It's already a challenge, mentally, spiritually, financially. And you're going into a situation where, because of capitalism, we got to pay. You know what I'm saying? It's not what's up. So when you talk about that, please talk about that in terms of like servants of the people. You know what I'm saying? To get that jacket, I can't wait to get mad. To get the jacket, you get to put in work. Please help us understand that.
Yes. Do you want to explain the process of becoming a servant of the people?
Yeah, so the process is called Freedom Track.
Yes.
Which I know you started Freedom Track. And it's about 12 weeks.
It's a 3-month.
3-month program where we not only work on the chemistry building aspect, getting to know our community even further, the political education aspect. Why are we doing this? The historical portion of it. How did we even get here to do the work that we're doing?
The revolutionary language.
The vocabulary and language. That's like probably my favorite chapter because it shifted my mind in so many different ways. And then what is service? I think when we put the jackets on, same thing I feel about Golden Child and the Unity sweaters, bro. Like big shout out to my brother GC.
Come on.
And same thing that I feel about it. We've created, and again I'm saying Golden Child, Heavy Crowns. We're gonna put ESC because they've been started to create some amazing things. Brother Rico Shy. The list goes on. But it's like it's cool to wear it. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, people were like, oh, "This is Unity." You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, bro, big Unity.
That's right.
Big abundance. Let me put that on 700 people.
Man, and you got different organizations.
Yes.
They're coming together. I'm talking about different street organizations.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? They coming together.
Yes, it is, and you're feeling it. Yes. And we get there because I believe we got away from that when we got away from the weight that was behind the word service. You know what I'm saying? It kind of became like, it's not cool to serve. Like, I got to serve myself, you know? And then we got away from unity. We started getting so far away from the solidarity that created the strength between our communities, our people. And now it's no coincidence that the creators, the artists that are like bringing the weight back, and they're making it so cool. In Cuba, they say the role of the artist is to make the revolution irresistible.
Come on.
Now, I believe that, merch is just a small portion of it. Mashawn Ali, Trap House Chicago, he talks about it all the time. It's a restorative justice clothing brand, and every single article of clothing is super duper cool. I know we're talking about service and the process. The reason I'm talking about the merch so much is because that if we can make it digestible, if we can make it attractive, maybe just as, or if that more attractive than ignorance is in the current state, then our young people, our older people, the middle generation, like that blend, they're gonna start to feel that sense of belonging again. Like, man, bro, I can do this. What you mean my ancestors was there? Tell me a bit more about the Panthers. Like, when we learned about that, that's a big part of the political education, and it's a part of that impact. If we can impact our young people or our people in general, just to when coming in, it creates a desire to serve. We always show the movie Panther throughout that freedom track, along with some other amazing like historical cinema. But one of my favorite portions of this movie, if you guys haven't seen the 1995 version of Panther,
Van Peebles,
it's they're in the park, right? They're in the park playing basketball. And it's some of the brothers trying to convince them to come just write some of the police badge numbers down. Because why not? They going to harass some of our moms and our people. And everybody just playing basketball. Like, man, that don't got nothing to do with me, man. Get out of here, bro. And I just remember watching it the first time, sitting in the loft. I had a loft project at the time. So I was housing about 8 young people to through this monetizing process. And we're just all watching that, and I'm like sitting there looking at my young people, like, man, this is us, bro. We just be out here playing ball, like. And the more we're understanding it, the more we feel it's more than desire. It's like obligated. I feel obligated now. I don't feel like I could just sit here and be okay with sitting here because now I know what our people put in there. Absolutely.
Honorable. Like the Panthers had a look about them.
Oh yeah.
They had the leather jackets, the berets. You knew a Panther when you saw one.
Right. The visibility
they all knew the 10-point program. They all took their political education seriously, and so that is what Freedom Track does, right? Because you learn about yourself, you learn about the organization, and you learn that there is honor in serving your own community.
That's right.
And so it's not just a jacket anymore.
That's right.
It's I earned this.
That's right.
And I respect this because it's a process that I went through, and so people ask all the time, how can I get one of those jackets? Well, it's a 3-month process. And then once you're done, you have a responsibility to contribute to the organization moving forward, right? At least once a week.
That's right.
We got to see you volunteering or being a part of some kind of program where you're serving the people, because the jacket is also a part of what we call community visibility.
Yeah.
You can't be what you can't see, right?
That's
so our
right.
community needs to see young people look organized.
That's right.
Looked militant, looked
Come on.
educated,
Come
know
on.
how to serve, and have them out there doing positive things so that it'll change the narrative and
That's
how
right.
we all see each other, because that's really what matters. Who cares what the oppressor thinks about us?
Come on. Come on.
It's how we see each
Say it.
other, and that's
That's
what's going to really create change. And Freedom Track has been such a beautiful process where every 3 months we're putting another 15 to 25 people through a process, and then they build their own cadre. And now we got 4
Freedom
cadres now, you know, and this year we're going to build 4 more cadres, you know,
Let's
and
go.
we're going to keep growing.
And on top of that, we have Freedom Families that we're implementing.
Yes.
So the cadres are going to be building their own cadres. And
Yes.
I love it.
it's time for the Rainbow Coalition again, man. It's really time for our community to start loving each other again. I think about block clubs back in the day.
Oh, man.
Man,
Remember
what?
that?
I thought everybody was outside. Like, I
Yeah,
thought the
yeah.
neighbors do the neighbors' babies. Like,
Man, whenever something happened, Miss Jones knew it before you got
you
home.
know, like we need to get back to that
Yeah.
space. And we get there by acknowledging the history.
Mm-hmm.
But like we talked about in the beginning, pulling our community into this space where we can build that foundation together. What does it look like in the now? It's not going to look like it did back in the day.
Right. Right.
It's going to look like an evolved version.
Making it make sense for today.
Exactly.
Right now.
Exactly.
Or what's
Because we
happening
need
with us
that.
right
We
now.
need that. KRS said this, and I love this quote. He said, "If younger people don't listen to older people, they'll be slower amongst other younger people. If older people don't listen to younger people, they'll be slower amongst other older people." I think about what effort is required for us to get to a space where there's block clubs, where there's an abundance of unity, and what effort is required for us to get there. Like
Mm-hmm.
Freedom families.
Freedom families. We're going to really have to start inviting
Freedom
people
families.
in, breaking bread with them.
Breaking bread.
Going
stew.
outside of just the surface level conversations, but instead, just because there's no conflict right now, let's talk about conflict resolution, because we're having a good day.
Right.
We're having an amazing day. This is the perfect time to talk about some type of process we can create when there's not a good day.
Come on.
When we not. So let's talk
Absolutely.
about, let's build
Talk about
together.
how we can build together.
And that's that effort, because a lot of people don't want to be like, well, I gotta talk about conflict right now. You know what I'm saying?
But see, you all do it in such a way that's so loving. And man, we have to come to a close. I don't want to.
I know.
But you know,
we
this
can
time
talk
goes
all
so
day.
fast. It goes so
We can
fast.
talk all day.
But you know, I love you all. And
We
I'm
love
so
you so
honored
much.
that you all were the very first guest on the Chicago
We're
Community
honored.
Podcast.
We
Man,
love you so
Activism.
much.
So much.
I'm so honored that you all do all this work and you do it so effortlessly and so lovingly.
We're reflections.
Man.
Coming up this week.
Sunday session
So,
tomorrow.
tomorrow, Sunday sessions. We have a very special Sunday session.
Please
We're
shout that
collaborating
out.
with
Address
Brother
everything.
Abel from the Nation of Islam will be
I love Brother
speaking.
Abel.
We're celebrating La Virgen de Guadalupe, who is a
Yes.
symbol of
Yes.
resistance to colonialism. We have Rosie Valdez, who is
Yes.
singing, who she just sang at the
Amazing.
Christmas
Saw her,
tree lighting
yes.
downtown. And Arden from Lila Soul will be singing. It's going to be such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful session. 11:30.
Yes.
Come at 11 if you want extra hugs. And it's 2242 South Damon.
Yes.
That's healthy. You could just look it up, Healthy Hood Chicago. But we're there every single Sunday. But
Without
tomorrow is
fail.
going to be very, very small.
And how can they find you all?
You can go on the Instagram, Healthy Hood Shy. You could Google us, Healthy Hood Chicago.
At Holy Ground Shy.
Holy Ground Shy as well. Holy Ground
You'll
Shy.
Oh
see Sista Afrika on that page.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Beautiful picture.
And
Oh
you'll
my
see a lot of smiling faces, man. It's a lot of love, and I know we say love, and we've thrown it around a lot, but it's the heaviest version of love.
I love it.
Super heavy. So
Heavy love.
Man,
something you got to experience.
This show was all about community. Thank you all for tuning in to the Chicago Community Activism Podcast with Sista Afrika.
Come
My
on.
esteemed guest from the Healthy Hood, Reverend Latanya, Lozano Washington, and Chairman Allen. I appreciate you both. Thank you so
Where
much.
can y'all be found on social media?
They gave it.
They did.
Thank you. Want to give it again?
Yeah. One
Okay,
more
let's
time.
do it again.
One
Yes.
more time.
At
So-
Healthy Hood Shy, CHI like Chicago, at Holy Ground Shy, and then Allen's is at Chairman Allen, and
It's
mine
Chairman _ Allen.
_ Allen, and then mine is at _ Tanya Lozano.
Come on.
Love y'all.
Yes, love.
We are who we've been waiting for. We are, we got. We are searching. I'm searching. I'm looking for someone to give about me. I'm searching. I'm searching. I'm looking for someone to give about me. I'm searching. I'm looking for someone to give about me. I'm searching. I'm searching. It's from the love that's in me. I love the love. I am so grateful for the enemy, but yet they still attack me with the envy. They're trying to clog my drain, leave me empty. They say I'm honored every week. I say humbled and grateful, not to feel weak. Let the church speak. I'm on the